Welcome back to another episode.
Yo, oh my goodness, what is going on? Oh, we do have a lot to talk about. I've seen the comments. We do have a lot to talk about. I apologize for being so late. Let me fix my hat. I apologize for being late. Oh my gosh. Look, quick story. I had everything scheduled and planned as far as being on time. And then I had y'all know me. I help kids out with basketball and all types of stuff like that. So I just had a parent call at like 10:30 on the dot and wanted to chop it up about some things. So duty calls and I had to take that, and it was a great phone call. But I realized in the middle of it, I was like, oh snap, it's like way past time. And so yes, I had to handle some business first, but that took away from other things, like I ain't get a thumbnail in time, none of that. So I was like, yeah, this y'all gonna be upset with me, but hopefully not too upset. I'm back. Just had to handle some business first. A little chaotic, but we are back. I missed y'all for these last 2 days. Hopefully y'all enjoy the new intro. Yeah, see, I love that. I love that intro, adorable. I'm glad y'all loved it. We were practicing. We were practicing on that intro for it didn't even take that long, to be honest. And I told him, I was like, bro, just what is wrong with my camera, bro? Don't start this. Don't start this. My camera also wasn't working. So that was a whole thing too. But yeah, I'm glad y'all enjoyed that. I'm glad y'all enjoyed that. I told him, I said twice. I said, say welcome back to another Yappisode. And that was like on the second try. I said, oh, you are the golden child. You know what you're doing. So that was pretty dope. But I hope y'all are doing good. Welcome back to another Yappisode, like my son said. Yappisode 29. Welcome back to the Daily Yap. If you are new to the channel, do not forget to hit the sub button. We are on the road to 22K. And I appreciate all the support along the way. I believe we're very close. Let me check really quick. Let me check really fast to see where we at, because we are very close to 22K. I believe it's 21.9 or something like. Oh my God, 21.96. My fault. Yeah, 21.9. No, that's wrong. I don't know. 21,996. So we are 4 subscribers away from 22K. Hopefully we can get there tonight. So y'all might hear me mention it a couple of times tonight, just to see if we can get those 4. Oh, I forgot to start the TikTok live for the TikTok family. So we are 4 subscribers away from hitting 22K. I have not took a still image. My whole camera is messed up. It's so crazy. I have not taken a still image of the map, so I'm not gonna mention it tonight because I need to zoom in on it to show y'all what's going on, because we need people to add some pins, and I added a few up there. So we'll talk about that probably tomorrow night as far as pulling up a still image. But outside of that, yes, we do have quite a bit to talk about tonight. It's a lot. Hopefully y'all are ready so we can vent, we can yap, we can get some things off our chest, because a lot has gone on in these last couple of days. We got the exploding mic theory coming back around with Candace Owens, and she has fully committed to it, and it has it's been pretty interesting, because the exploding mic theory has been talked about for a long time. I believe Stu Peters was one of the first people to bring this up a long time ago, probably in September, I believe, like September 25th. So this has been talked about for a very long time. Obviously, John Bray has done his thing. A lot of people have done their thing. And so a lot of people, including myself, but I really wasn't too worried about it. A lot of people were, saying why she hasn't acknowledged the exploding mic theory. And I think I've said that before. I was like, I wonder why she hasn't even just acknowledged that possibility of an exploding mic, because she really didn't. She was committed to I wouldn't say committed, but she did say he was shot in the front, whatever. And So for a long time, I definitely was like, I wonder why she hasn't said anything about it. And not that she had to do a full deep dive into it and stuff like that. I was just like, it's a possibility. So I think that's something that we can, um, that's something that we should acknowledge for sure. But she's there now, which is amazing. And obviously, we're learning about different characters as well. And we also have Brandon Tatum. I haven't listened to it yet, but this is like the first time he said something about the Charlie Kirk investigation in a couple of weeks, maybe a month. So I haven't even listened to it yet, but I'm going to with y'all for the first time. And he is saying something about the mic, the roll mic theory, the exploding mic theory. And I'm assuming he's doing that based off of Candace finally addressing it now, which is interesting because he hasn't said anything about that theory this entire time. And it's been out for a long time. But then when Candace Owens brings it up, now all of a sudden he's ready to debunk it. So that's pretty interesting as well. Did I see what? All right, you got 4 more subs. Do I really got 4 more subs? Oh, snap. Hey, I don't know. I don't know what just happened, but we are at 22,000 subscribers. So that is wonderful, man. Shout out to y'all. That is crazy. I definitely did not expect that within the first 8 minutes. So hey, let's go. 22,000 subs. I appreciate y'all for doing that, adding those 4 subscribers. Now we can say that we're on the road to 23K. So I appreciate y'all for doing that. We definitely have grown a long way. We talk about it all the time of like the very first Yappisode was not even that long ago, was in March in my son's room. And so here we are, 22,000 subs, and we are growing from here. But yes, we got a lot to talk about. So let's go ahead, hop into it. Y'all know me. I usually always start off with some donkey of the days. Got to always just to lighten the mood a little bit, get everybody in a good mood. So first and foremost, let me read some of y'all comments before I click donkey today. We got it's a couple, not that many. But did I see what Leah files dropped there? I think I did, but I'll definitely check again. But I think I did. What are you talking about? Because she's followed the money on that exploding mic already. Like she did that like months ago. But I think she dropped another video about it, recapping it. Let me pull up my X really quick because this is kind of funny. Where is it at? The first donkey of the day. And y'all know who it is. This person. Hopefully, okay, cool. She's definitely not in the chat over there. But good old Lisa knows. We got to bring her up. I know a lot of people are like, stop talking about her. But this is actually for a reason this time. Not anything that's pertaining to me, but Baron calls her out for something that's quite funny. And I have done my best to what can I say? I've done my best to not acknowledge her as much. Sometimes I do, just because sometimes it's very outrageous. Somebody tagged me some things that she commented me or tagged me on with some rant that she went on, like seething, and I can't believe like, it was some crazy rant, like one of her most recent posts. And I'm like, the reason she went on the rant, like she tags me and it's my tweet. And I'm like, bro, I didn't even say anything. It wasn't even me who requested the roll mic audio. And it was this whole crazy rant that she went on saying I'm a sick individual for, I don't know. And I was just like, bro, why are you? Thank you so much. I was like, why? I don't know. It was crazy, but I haven't really acknowledged her that much. I just let her do her thing. However, I wanted to acknowledge her for Donkey of the Day today because this is actually pretty funny. I have not seen this before. And I debated on commenting on it to pile on, but I chose not to because I think everybody knows that she is paid off and she is doing all this stuff for attention. And this proves it because look at this tweet that Barron released today of the good old Lisa Knows. Barron has also been kind of going back and forth with Lisa Knows as well. Not all the time, but sometimes. And Barron pulls up an old tweet from Lisa, and you will not believe what she said. And that is September 12th, 2025. So 2 days after Charlie died, right? After whatever happened to Charlie, after Charlie was eliminated, 2 days after, Lisa says, replying to somebody, this person, Jenna, says, don't show photos or the name of Charlie's killer. Don't make him famous. Make Charlie's legacy and faith famous. Lisa responds and says, wrong. We can't rely on those in power to give us correct information and facts. We, the public, have to verify if what they are telling us is true and do our own investigation. That don't sound like Lisa. That does not sound like Lisa. The Lisa we know today, that anytime you ask a question, she goes berserk. She calls you all these things out of the book. You're such an evil person. You're so sick. You're all of these things. But on September 12th, she literally said, we can't rely on those in power to give us correct information. In fact, we, the public, have to verify if what they are telling us is true and do our own investigation. That's exactly what we're doing. And she has a problem with it. Instead, now she takes everything that Erica and Tracy Martin, all these, she takes what they say at face value. Andrew Kovac, she takes what they say at face value. And she doesn't do her own investigation into that. That was crazy. So it was kind of funny because Barron brought that up. And Barron said, it's always fun to go back and see what that these stop asking questions trolls once believed the exact same things we do about not trusting the official narrative and needing to do our own investigation. Thanks, Lisa. You've come a long way from the conservative, MUA era. That is hilarious. And obviously, Lisa responded. So let's check out what Lisa said. Lisa responded to this. Of course, which was expected. And she said, except the questions you ask have to actually make sense. Come on, man. So every question we come up with doesn't make any sense to Lisa. Okay. There needs to be a standard and process in place. No, there doesn't. It's your own investigation, Lisa. There's no guidelines to your own investigation and your own reasonings on why you're asking people questions. These conspiracy theories have been all over the place with no rigorous process or accountability. And blatantly accusing people of murder without any evidence doesn't qualify as asking questions. Who has Barron specifically accused of murder? They love to do that. They love to do that. But who has done that? Who's accused Barron specifically? Because there are people out there that was like, you did it. You know what I mean? Like there's literally Blake's hilarious. I give him that. Blake's hilarious. With that video that he titled said Judas Harbaugh. That was crazy. But Barron specifically has not once, I appreciate it, thank you. Barron has not once said this particular person murdered somebody. He's never said that. But I digress. Let's continue. Pulling up my response to Charlie's death 2 days after it happened is beyond disingenuous. Why? I think that's pretty accurate. That shows your true character on who you were. And something changed. We both know things have drastically changed. Oh, yeah, of course. Since then, I wonder what it was. You don't scare me, Barron. Stop with the intimidation tactics. Who's intimidating you? This wasn't a threat. Barron pulling up your old tweets is not a threat. to be honest, it's kind of scary with like how quick you play victim in this situation. How quick you threw your hands up and you felt attacked. And it's like, bro, he just pulling up your tweets. He literally pulling up your tweets and saying, I find a little hypocrisy in this tweet. And she turned it into, she feels threatened. There is literally nothing you can pull up on me. My background is spotless, and you know it, or you would have already done it. Well, the thing is, I mean, I don't think there should be an episode on who Lisa Knowles is. I don't really think that matters. I don't. You can have a nasty background. I don't really think it matters. So I just found it interesting that she immediately went to the victim role and said, "You're trying to intimidate me." But she also acknowledged that we both know things have drastically changed since then. And I'm like, well, what has changed is you getting paid by somebody. I don't know who, but you are getting paid by somebody. And will we ever be able to prove it one day? Probably not. Probably not. But my guess, I think Gary is blessing the family. I think Gary is the one that's been paying Lisa, in my opinion, because it's just too obvious for Turning Point USA to pay Lisa. They wouldn't do that. That's way too obvious. They got to use they minions. So they gonna hit up Gary. Y'all know Gary got that big old contract that got exposed from the Department of Defense, and Gary is breaking bread with Lisa. That's the only thing that makes sense. And I'm gonna stand on that. I just think that's what she's getting the money from. Nobody would do what she's doing for free. That don't make any sense at all. I do follow the Leah Files. I've been following her for a while. Leah, you were supposed to be on the podcast this week. Leah ghosted me, y'all. Me and Leah been chopping it up. Leah was supposed to be on the pod this week. And yeah, she got booked and busy, man. She went Hollywood on me. So no Leah this week unless she happens to hit me randomly. But I shall be waiting until she responds back. Because we had something scheduled, not like a specific day, but we knew this week it was gonna happen. But she ain't responded this week. So we'll see. I'm gonna keep on pushing. She is obviously growing. Shout out to Leah. I played her thing last week, and I don't mind playing it again tonight. But on her thing with the exploding mic theory, she followed the money, and it's great information. Matter of fact, I will play it because it is very relevant to what's going on today. So I'll play Leah again because she followed the money on where everything was coming from with the exploding mic theory. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. She's phenomenal. I love her work. Been following her for a long time. And y'all put me on to her many, many, many months ago. And I've been following her ever since. But yes, it was Leah. Leah was supposed to be on the pod this week. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. We was trying to figure out a day, but and we knew that it was gonna be the week of the 15th. And yeah, she went Hollywood on me, y'all. She went Hollywood on me. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I double and triple texted just for y'all. You know what I mean? Just to see. Just to see what happened. You know what I mean? I got faith that she gonna respond to little old me. I'm not Hollywood yet. So we gonna see. But the Lisa was the first donkey of the day. And we see why. Next, I want to play Brandon Tatum. He is debunking the exploding mic theory. I have not listened to this at all. I literally saw this on my way home from the gym. And I immediately, when I see him, his caption, his title of the video, or his tweet that go with it, it says, "Enough with the nonsense. Claims that Charlie Kirk's lapel mic," hopefully I said that right, somehow exploded and killed him. Don't match the evidence, the injury, or simple common sense. If you cared about Charlie, you'd care about the truth. Brandon Tatum has not commented on anything with, no, I will not be Hollywood soon. I'll never switch up. Never. If anybody tell me anything, just know y'all gonna hear it from me. Unless they say, don't tell nobody. Then I might say, don't tell me if you feel like I can't tell nobody. Because I'm not gonna switch up on y'all. I swear. I've been like that. I'm staying down 10 toes behind my folks. We ain't switching up. We ain't going Hollywood. And I would never gatekeep. But Brandon Tatum said, he's never said anything about the Charlie Kirk investigation in a long time. And that is probably because he's been getting a lot of backlash from talking about it. If you go look at his analytics, which don't waste your time, just trust me what I'm saying. He's lost a lot of followers every week when he was heavy into the whole I'm debunking Candace Owens every other day. I'm calling Candace Owens names every other day. He was losing a lot of followers and he went away from that content. It's obvious. So is Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro was losing a lot of followers every time he's talking about Candace. And then he slowly went away from that. They're trying to pivot and all that stuff. So this is Brandon Tatum's first time talking about the Charlie Kirk investigation in a while, specifically when it comes to something that Candace has said. So let's take a look at what what Brandon Tatum had to say about this exploding mic theory and how it is obviously debunked, not true, doesn't make any sense. Let's just hear his logic.
You're either stupid, evil, or both. If you
why does he have to start the video like that? Why does he have to start the video like that? This is what I like. Oh my gosh, bro. This is what I told y'all before about how I don't understand how him and Candace are friends and cool, because they are. They are. And I know some people are gonna keep on trying to tell me, oh, I kind of get it. You know, there's work and then there's personal life. Listen to what he's saying. Candace is the person, not the person that started the exploding mic theory, but she's talking about the exploding mic theory. And look how he describes the people that are talking about the exploding mic theory.
You're either stupid, evil, or both.
Candace is stupid, evil, and both. I mean, okay.
If you think after watching Charlie Kirk's assassination that a lapel mic killed him, let me show you what the lapel mic that Charlie Kirk had on his person was. We use the same stuff. It has a magnetic clip on the back. Charlie had it on his shirt, which was here or here. Therefore, if it's on his shirt here and not clipped here, it's held together with a magnet. If you are stupid enough to think that this killed Charlie by doing this, it explodes.
Hold on, I gotta go back. He's cracking me up. How do I get a restriction? I didn't even say nothing, TikTok, bro. Oh my gosh, I didn't even say nothing yet.
Which was here, or
this is Brandon Tatum talking,
or here. Therefore, if it's on his shirt here and not clipped here, it's held together with a magnet. If you are stupid enough to think that this killed Charlie by doing this, it explodes. It explodes. And the bullet comes around here, it goes right here. What munition could have came out of this thing? You think it's a 223? Which is standard 223. Allegedly, it was a 30-06, which is massively bigger than this. This won't fit in this.
Oh my. There's no way. There is no way that his debunking is putting a bullet next to the road mic, saying that the bullet doesn't fit in the road mic, so it's not possible. Oh my gosh, bro. This dude is I can't even say he's stupid because literally every other topic, Brandon's on point. Every other topic. I used to love his content. Every other topic, Brandon is on point. But when it comes to this Charlie Kirk investigation, he makes me want to grind my teeth, bro. There is no way that he's comparing the bullets. Just look at it. There's no way. He's holding up a bullet next to the mic saying the bullet don't fit in there.
Which is massively bigger than this. This won't fit in this box here. It's heavy. You think Charlie Kirk would have got a mic and been like, yeah, put a mic on me. And the magnet is going to hold it together with gunpowder and munition in it. And if the thing blew up, you will see a big hole in Charlie's shirt because of whatever explosive powder came out of it. You will see shrapnel hit Charlie in the face. And there's no way that some projectile that's flat on your chest like this is going to somehow travel out and around and hit you in the neck over here. Impossible. And also, if this exploded from somebody's chest, everybody standing next to Charlie.
I think it was an exit wound. I think whatever happened here went somewhere in his shirt and like went maybe in the bottom of his neck or through his chest or whatever and came out right there. I don't know what Brandon talking about.
Kirk would have been like, everybody in the shooting turned and looked where they saw the shot fired. Because if you really care about Charlie and you claim you liked him and you claim you're a big Charlie fan or whatever you want to claim, then you would methodically take into consideration legitimate investigations, legitimate claims. And I promise you, some of the people that you've been listening to, you're going to realize were deceiving you either through ignorance or intentionally deceiving you because they rather make it sexy by saying it's all this conspiracy than to be honest about the fact that it was a nut job, trans.
But you don't know that though. That's the problem. I was about to say Baron. My bad, Baron. Oh my gosh. That's the problem, Brandon. You don't know that. You don't know that it was Tyler Robinson. He hasn't confessed to it, but that's what they're gonna say. He did confess. Didn't you see the Discord messages? His parents turned him in. That's all they can say. Every time this comes up, that's all they can say.
It was a nut job, trans adjacent weirdo that was hypnotized with hatred and decided to kill Charlie Kirk.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was completely wrong. The ultimate donkey of the day is Brandon Tatum. Oh my gosh, man. Don't even get me started. He said, there's no way a bullet fit inside of the road mic. There's no way. There's no way a bullet fits out of the road mic. How is that possible? Oh, okay, Brandon. Okay, Brandon. Okay. You got it, bro. Brandon for sure wins Donkey of the Day. Brandon Tatum wins Donkey of the Day. I don't want to say too much because we already know these people are paid off. Now, going into Candace, obviously she's been talking about a lot of stuff lately with this road mic. And I want to play a part of her video that I also find interesting. Now, we already know the road mic is very interesting. And we also need to play the Leah files while it's relevant as well. But we obviously always got to talk about Candace. Just to recap, vent, get stuff off your chest. Yeah. Now, the biggest thing, let me see. She got her chapters up. She do got her chapters up. I love when she put the chapters up. All right, let me play a little bit of the Candace thing right quick. This is going to be a little bit about the road mic and the Einstein network with Jeffrey Einstein. Because I've always found that interesting. To be honest, I wanted Candace to stay on this path this entire time. I've always wanted her to stay on this Einstein network. I wouldn't say like the entire time, like fully commit to it and don't talk about nothing else. But when she was deep diving into, Erica being very close to Jeffrey and in these different cities. I was like, bro, please stay there, because if you reveal something absolutely insane of them being affiliated, connected, whatever, this is going to blow my mind. So I am glad we're kind of touching that subject again. I definitely missed it, but let's hear some of the things she said today talking about it.
Are we living in Epstein Nation? Are you guys starting to feel like we're living in Jeffrey Epstein Nation, that everybody that pretends to be successful authentically is somehow tied into a broader network? I'm just going to ask that question. Quickly at the top here, I also want to note that I slightly misspoke yesterday, and it needs clarification. I briefly mentioned that when Erica came into Charlie's life, it was just as Jeffrey Epstein went down, and I said it was way too profitable to evil people. His trafficking network, I should remind you, we were working on our Epstein series leading up to Charlie's assassination. Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking network was once deeply in New York, or I should say Erica Franzfey, while she was living in New York City, was hanging around. We discovered she was hanging around at the Next Model Management offices, which was a talent agency that was run by close Jeffrey Epstein friend Faith Cates. We had questions. Again, the people who worked there alleged that Erica was the point of contact for the model department, and they find it to be suspicious because Jeffrey Epstein was often at their offices. These Eastern European women that they were bringing in for quote unquote suits, described as men involved in the business, and a lot of these women, they reflect, sort of disappeared. Where did a lot of these women go? It brings a reasonable question, an easy question, by the way, to answer. Did Erica Franzfey in any way have any association with the Jeffrey Epstein orbit? Because it's not clear what she was doing while she was in New York. Faith Cates, I should mention, never turned her back on Jeffrey Epstein.
I think it's clear what she was doing. I don't think anybody 39, 20, they restricted me and partially banned me on live on TikTok. I don't think any of the 50 people listening could pinpoint anybody in their life that was this close to Jeffrey. And I don't think it's a coincidence, right? Erica said it herself. She doesn't believe in coincidences. So I don't believe that it's a coincidence, and I don't believe in coincidence either. It's not a coincidence that she was this close to Jeffrey this many times. She was close to Jeffrey in Romania. She was close to Jeffrey in she went somewhere, I forgot where she traveled to, where that Baron talked about. And then she was close to Jeffrey in New York. And like Candace said, this is a pretty simple thing to debunk. Do you know what Next Model Management is? But they never will come out with anything. They won't ever come out and address things. And these are serious allegations to come out and clarify. So I don't really, some of these kids and parents, they have to be some type of actors, because I don't really understand why there are kids still around this woman. Until you come out and clarify these allegations involving minors, you don't get to be around kids. You shouldn't be around kids. You're a menace to society. Prove me wrong. Maybe you're not a menace to society. But right now, with these allegations going on with you grooming this person and that person, and you was around this and that, yeah, you need to explain yourself, or else you are banned from being around kids. But they won't, which is very telling. It blows my mind how telling it is for somebody to be accused of being so close to Jeffrey, but they don't have to come out and clarify. You got Trump coming out trying to say, oh, nah, we was friends, but we wasn't friends anymore, and I snitched on him. Trump trying to backtrack when it comes to Jeffrey. Everybody that's listed in the files is trying to backtrack. Bill Clinton trying to backtrack. But for some reason with Erica, somebody would say, she's been around Jeffrey about 3 times. She don't come out and say nothing. That's weird to me.
She supported him even after that 2009 arrest. And like I said, there were so many Eastern European models that were being brought through her office, many of whom were subsequently then flown to parties in the Virgin Islands. It is also a fair question to ask, what does Erica know about those models? What was she doing with those apartments? Who exactly linked her with this office? What were her qualifications? There might be a reasonable explanation, but I'd like to hear it because Erica Kirk now has access to American high school students via Turning Point's Club America. She's speaking at high schools across the country. And in my view, no parent in the United States or abroad should accept a Turning Point USA high school chapter in their child's school without a very clear understanding of what Erica was doing in association with Next Model Management. That's easy. That's easy. If you ask me, Candace, I'd just answer the question. Being a widow does not remove you from having to answer a question of this magnitude.
I believe it all. I'm gonna tell you that. I've said that before. I believe it all. The e-files, whoever in them files, I believe it. I believe they did it. All that. I don't put it past these people that are in these positions. I don't put it past them. They're weird. They're weirdos. All of them. And again, if you're normal, you don't have to worry about that, right? I don't have to worry about anybody right now. I don't have to worry about seeing Buffy in the e-files. I don't got to worry about that. I can I can talk to every single person and say, what were you doing around this time? There's not going to be a single person that's going to say, well, man, I crossed paths with Jeffrey before. And, I worked for him for a couple of years, or, I was affiliated, or, hey, can you believe I was at the same hotel that Jeffrey was at? Like, that's just not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. So the fact that she is so close to this orbit, I believe it. 100%. I believe it. I know Lisa doesn't. I do. I believe it. I believe Erica was in on all of this stuff. And I think that is why she was able to jump to the top of the elite ladder so fast. That's the only thing I can think of. There's nobody else. Even Charlie didn't jump to the elite ladder. So clearly he was touched. He was touched. He got touched and eliminated. They don't do that to them folks on the files. They don't do that. Charlie was not untouchable. But for some reason, Charlie gets eliminated and his wife becomes untouchable. His wife becomes one of those people that can just do anything they want to and never get in trouble for it, never face any repercussions or nothing. That's because I think she was on there. I think she's a part of it. She's a part of that whole thing. Her and Trump being so close. Nah, bro. It's man.
And there's more, you guys. Since everyone, including Trump, seems to run tangential to the Epstein network and Eastern Europe, everyone having to know, I knew him. Trump's like, I employed Virginia Giuffre. I employed her at Mar-a-Lago, but I once kicked Jeffrey Epstein out. But we hung out at parties.
Nah, Buffy, you're not in the e-files. You're not. I said I don't have to worry about you being in the e-files. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
But I kicked him out for other reasons. Truly, I think the reason that they had disagreement, it was actually over a real estate deal. It wasn't because of Jeffrey Epstein's parties or anything inappropriate that he was doing. But it's weird. It's like his name just keeps coming up. And then we learned that he's calling Charlie Kirk, right? He's Charlie and upset about Charlie Kirk allowing people to roast the Epstein network, demanding clarity. And when you read that New York Times article, it makes it seem like Trump just never wanted these files to be released. Was he protecting his donors? Well, obviously he's protecting his donors, but who else is he protecting? What does he know about the Epstein network? What files are they still holding, asserting that the reason is because children are harmed? We're protecting the victims. That's the reason we're withholding this information. I don't buy that for 1 second.
I haven't heard a single person come out, a single kid that's now an adult come out and say, Erica helped me, man. I was an orphan. I needed a lot of help. I was going through a lot and Erica helped. I haven't heard a single survivor come out and give a testimony on how great Erica is. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that Erica wanted to help kids so bad that she skipped her hometown, she skipped her own country, and she chose to go all the way over to Romania to help those kids. Not buying it whatsoever.
And this next discovery that I made, that just seemed like another chef's kiss, if you will. Now, we told you that we identified the office that organized the now infamous SAM 702 flight. This is our Fort Huachuca plane. That plane has been a source of info for a clear alibi. We've asked Erica for a clear alibi. We don't want to spend time on something that amounts to nothing. There are a lot of, threads that we need to pull.
Speaking of alibis, does it not, like, I talked about this before. there are some days I will admit, and I'm not gonna stop, right? There's not gonna be a day where I just give up, I would say, as far as like trying to figure out what the heck happened to Charlie. But doesn't it feel like weird and strange that like we just will never hear about certain things? Because I feel like when we don't hear about alibis and Turning Point USA blatantly lies about things that are very concerning, I think that gives us the answer on what the outcome is going to be to all of this. Like, it's almost like this, it confirms that everybody's going to get away with it. Because it just doesn't make sense on how people can fail alibis. Andrew Kovic can lie about a Superman neck, and Erica in cahoots about lying about that. Andrew Kovic can lie about, the bullet found just beneath the skin. Erica can, post the fake kids. Like, all of these things that are just so incriminating, and nothing ever happens. Nothing. We just move on. And when those things happen, when we move on, like, there are days, and some of y'all probably can tell when those days come, because some days I'll be fed up of just like tired of like asking the same questions sometimes. Those are the days where I'm like, bro, nothing's going to come from this. These people are so protected. Nothing's going to come from it. Now, we can obviously keep pushing and stuff like that. But the things that are happening in this case where people fail alibis, they leave crumbs and all this stuff, and then nothing happens from there. I'm like, this is not normal. Obviously, it's a psyop. But I'm like, if they're not going to get in trouble for lying on a surgeon, then why would they release the road audio? You know what I mean? I tweeted that the other day when everybody was asking about the road audio should be released from Turning Point USA to debunk the exploding mic theory. Like, it'd be simple. Just release the road audio, and it shouldn't cut out at 12:23, right? It should keep going. And I immediately was like, I tweeted about it. I was like, bro, I love y'all to death. I really do. But we're not getting the road mic, right? I really need people. Like, I'm not gonna say that. I don't want to be like the person that says stop asking questions. But I do feel some type of way that I might not be able to put into words when we ask Turning Point USA and Erica and Andrew Kovic, all these people, to release things when they haven't released anything in the past. And I'm like, why are we wasting our energy on this when we know they're not going to release it? We know it. We know they're not. We know they're not going to release the road mic audio. The same thing with the front camera. They're not going to release that. And then it's going to be like, oh, their silence is loud. And I'm like, no, that actually bothers me a lot. It bothers me so much that we continue to ask questions about stuff like this, and we just will never get it. We'll never get it. We'll never get it. And I think that's why I was so attached to the Aspen video, because I don't think I realized how low on the scale the Aspen video is compared to all the things that are going on in this Charlie Kirk investigation. The Aspen video is such a low priority, and we couldn't even get that. We couldn't even get the Aspen video. This is something Turning Point even admitted that they'll do. They'll release private videos that people have never seen before. We couldn't even get the Aspen video. Why in the world would we get the road mic audio? Why would we get the front camera? Do y'all think they're going to put that out there so they can go to jail about it? That's where Lisa got the rant from. That's where Lisa went on that whole rant about, like, I don't know. I don't even want to play it. This whole thing. But that's what I was saying. I was like, why would they release the road mic audio? That would get all of them locked up. So I think I'm starting to direct my frustration at the like when we bring up small little side quests, I'm starting to direct my frustration at the people that are going to give us answers outside of Turning Point. And I wish, right? I wish everybody else would do the same thing. I wish with the Aspen video, no. With the Tucker Carlson and the Kirk's dinner, that strange dinner they had, I wish everybody would say, Tucker Carlson, can you please come out and say if this is true or not? Not Turning Point USA, not Andrew Covett. I'm tired of asking Andrew Covett about things. I'm tired of asking Turning Point about things. They're not going to say anything. So that's why, and I mean, it's cool. If I got to be the only person that would do that, fine. I've already done it. I've already said, Tucker, you need to come out and say something. I've said that on video. I've said that, tweeted it, all of that stuff. But I just think that when we continue to ask Turning Point USA to come out with stuff, I'm just like, why, bro? They're not going to do it. And then we're just going to say, oh, their silence is loud. Of course. But where do we go from here? Where do we go from here, bro? And I think that's why the Aspen video was so frustrating because, you know, y'all know I've already said this before, but I was like, bro, Candace, I love you to death. But there's no way that this whole Aspen video is based on Andrew Covett responding to your email. That's not gonna happen. And I'm not personally okay with moving on from the Aspen video. Y'all may be, I'm not. I'm still affected by it to this day because I knew I was invested in it because I feel like we got super close. Just like how we got super close with the Egyptian planes. We got super close with whatever the heck happened to freaking Kanye and Erica and Charlie. We got super close with that. We got super close with Fort Huachuca. So with the Aspen video, I was like, oh, this is such a low priority when it comes to this Charlie Kirk investigation that I feel like we can get, what the heck is that? I don't know what that was. This Aspen video was such a low priority that I was like, okay, we can for sure get closure on the Aspen video, right? We can for sure close out this chapter and figure out if it's true or not. And I think when Candace dropped that saying she's waiting on Andrew Covett, and then Andrew Covett tweeted it. He said, because Candace said, I'm waiting on Andrew Covett to confirm or deny if this video has been doctored in any way and blah, blah, blah. Andrew Covett literally said on Twitter, it's not AI, it's a real video. So I was like, okay, is that not what we need? That he's literally saying it's not AI, it's a real video. That's exactly what Candace needed. So then I was like, okay, so what we doing then? What we doing? Candace, you already dropped 35 seconds of the whole video. You dropped 35 seconds of the Aspen video. And I know some people get very, I don't know why I'm holding this. I've been holding this for, I know people get very sensitive when it comes to talking about Candace. And y'all got to understand, again, this is all out of love. All out of love. All out of love. I just need to reiterate that because some people get in their feelings anytime you critique Candace. This is all out of love. I was also the same person that was like, same as a lot of people too, that was like, Candace, I think Erica's very shady. And it took her like 2 months to realize that. Now, obviously, grieving, all that other stuff going on. So Candace could be completely oblivious to what's actually going on, in denial. But y'all got to realize there are a lot of times where we're right. And she admits it. There are a lot of times where we clock stuff before her. So all I'm saying is, in my opinion on this Aspen video, I just thought it was strange that Candace released 35 seconds of it already. And I'm like, okay, if you already released 35 seconds of it, I'm not buying the whole everybody talking about, oh, the video is protected legally. And I'm like, she already released 35 seconds of it. Then somebody was like, oh, 35 seconds, you can use that under the Fair Act. And I'm like, I just feel like y'all are coming up with excuses. I'm not saying at all that Candace is a fed and Candace is in on it. I told y'all many a times, I extend my hand out to Candace a lot of grace because of how much she has brought to this investigation. So I'm not accusing her of anything. What I am saying, though, is it doesn't make any sense on why you can't drop the Aspen video when you already dropped 35 seconds of it. How about drop 35 seconds of the part that's relevant? Did he or did he not say it? That's it. You already dropped the video, so drop the rest. It doesn't make sense for only that part of the video to be legally protected. Because guess what? If he didn't say it at all, that means what is legally protected? Are y'all following me? You can't legally protect something that doesn't exist. So does it exist or does it not? If it doesn't exist, then drop 35 seconds of the full context of whoever asked that question and whatever Charlie's response is, whatever it was. But the second Candace put out there that, you know, I'm working on dropping it. I asked Turning Point USA to respond to these particular questions. I literally was like, what are we doing? This video is never coming out. It's never coming out. It's never coming out. And if it doesn't come out, I'm going to be bothered by it. And yes, I'm bothered by it. I'm sorry, I am. And I told y'all before that if it doesn't come out, I'm going to be affected by it. And it's going to rub me the wrong way. And it has. And that doesn't mean that I'm disregarding what's going on right now with Candace and her finally going into the exploding mic theory. But I don't think it's crazy for us to say, Candace, what happened? You just told the whole world that you had the Charlie video for the last 7 months. You just dropped 35 seconds of it. So what are we doing? Tell us something. Give us a transcript. Maybe read off what Charlie said. Maybe you don't show the video. But it's too many people let things go. And another thing I got to say, because we're yapping. What also kind of sucks is that, I don't know if I want to say that. I don't know if I want to say that. How can they not release the camera from behind? Our Love Seeks Truth. Thank you for donating to the channel. Thank you for supporting. We know why they can't release it from behind. I mean, Candace released a little bit of it, but yeah, I mean, anything from that day. Now, what's interesting is I want to know what the defense is going to request. Has the defense requested the roll mic audio? Have they requested the front camera angle? Have they requested the behind shot angle? And the answer is probably no. And it's weird. I don't know why. New York Firecracker, thank you for supporting the channel and donating. I love what you were doing. Keep doing an amazing job. I see you going far. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting as well. Our Love Seeks Truth, thank you for supporting and donating again. How about Fort Huachuca Picks by Mitch Snow? Yes, I mean, that's another one, right? That's another one. That is another one. I don't know. I talked to Mitch, you know what I mean? I literally talked to Mitch the other day, texted the other day. But you know, I have nothing, you know what I mean? Like I told you, I'm not gonna gatekeep anything. I have nothing. He said that he sent everything he has over to Candace and Barron. Every picture, every video. He never told me or specified what was in those pictures or videos, so I don't know. But he sent it over to them. And he didn't tell me he saw Erica. He didn't tell me any of that. You know what I mean? He just told me that everything that we know pretty much of just like these people are protected and, you know, they don't want one thing that was great information that he did say that I don't know if it was implying or what, but he basically was saying that, you know, if all of the information were to come out, about Fort Huachuca, then the people involved would get off because of who's protecting them. So to me, that could mean if Erica was there and he has a picture of her there and everything were to get out and come out about her being there, because Trump's in office, nothing will happen. That's my interpretation skills on what he was implying. That's what I think he was implying. And it makes sense, but that's what I was getting out of that, is that if everything was released about Fort Huachuca, we wouldn't be able to nothing would happen. Trump would be protecting everybody involved. Now, in my opinion, I don't care. You know what I mean? In my opinion, release it all and allow the public to know the truth. If Trump didn't want to protect Erica and all of them afterwards, hey, you do you, but we know the truth. So that's just my opinion. But that's all I know from Mitch on that. But yeah, you're right. Fort Huachuca, what happened with that? I don't know. He said, say it. Yeah, I mean, why not? Because I definitely am not really here to make friends with absolutely everybody. That's not really the goal. I'm just here to speak truth. That's all. So I definitely will. I'll say what was on my mind. I get the impression that sometimes when Candace says and does certain things, she's speaking to a specific someone in code and giving them instructions to make certain moves. I can see that as well. CO knows a lot more than she lets off. Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. That's the tricky part. Everybody that knows a lot more than what they're putting out, you know, that's gatekeeping. But, you know, I get it. I get some things you can't really say, but there are small, like I said, it's the small things. It's the little things that I'm like, bro, we can figure out. Like, let's get down to the bottom of the Aspen video and wrap this up. And when we don't, I'm like, so what was the point? And somebody said something about her NDA. Yeah, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. What I was gonna say, that's why Erica wants a speedy trial. Yeah, right, 100%. 100%. She wants that speedy trial, even though she forgives Tyler Robinson. She wants the fastest way to his death sentence. What I was going to say is, you know, Barron used to be somebody that we could kind of like guarantee it's on YouTube. We're on YouTube right now. Barron used to be somebody that we can kind of guarantee that it would be like a separate opinion. You know, he'd have like kind of his own opinion on certain things. But I think since he's been in like cahoots with Candace, and I'm not saying that they're in on it. I'm not saying that at all. But I think since he's been in cahoots with Candace, it's kind of just been like, you know, he would never question anything that she has put out there. I want to say that. And not question her as in, again, like, is she in on it or anything like that? But question as in just like, I don't think that really makes any sense. And I think it's important because he has a large platform. So like little old me, I can question stuff all day. It doesn't really matter. This will never make it anywhere. You know what I mean? So like, but I think it's important for everybody to just push for full 100% transparency. You know, we can't demand transparency out of Turning Point USA when we have people also withholding the truth on certain things. You know what I mean? Or it just doesn't really make any sense to me. So I just realized that with Barron, when you watch his content, I'm starting to see that he's not the old Barron. Not that he's bad to listen to now. He's an amazing podcaster still. I just know when it comes down to some things that Candace has released, if we have questions about it, he doesn't. And then it's like, okay, so how can we get somebody to raise these questions where Candace can see it and maybe can respond to some of it. How can we get to that point? Because Baron used to be the person where it's like, oh yeah, he would question anything and everything, and we like, cool. It's, you know what I mean? But now it's kind of hard. So that's all I really was trying to say. Again, I'm not trying to say I love Baron and Candace, and I'm not trying to say nothing, you know what I mean? I'm just speaking my opinion. I just feel like things that doesn't really make sense with Candace, like when Candace dropped the Aspen video, 35 seconds of the Aspen video, and she was like, yeah, I had it the whole time. I had it for the last 7 months. Y'all was crazy to think I wasn't sitting on this, blah, blah. And immediately for me, I was like, you had the Aspen video this whole time? Like this whole time? So I'm just like, that's crazy. And then I'm like, you released 35 seconds of it. Why didn't you just release the 35 seconds that mattered? And then later that night, Baron was like, well played by the principal, well played, and was like laughing about it and stuff like that. And I was just like, did you know too? What's happening right now? Like, how does that not make you at least be like, that's kind of, because that can't just be me. I mean, I know everybody in the chat right now feels the same way because we've been talking about it. But we can't be the only ones that was like, okay, like, hey, don't get me wrong, that's well played, Candace. But now that you have the full video, can you release the part that matters? You know what I mean? Mr. Lawyer Baron, you know all about the Fair Rights Act. So can you come out and explain the legal things of her releasing that one part of the video? And we just move on. It's just over. It's just over. And that's what I'm saying. And then Baron doesn't even care anymore. It just moves on. Nobody cares about the Aspen video no more. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But again, both of them are phenomenal. The work they put out is phenomenal. And I watch it every day. I just know that there are a lot of questions that a lot of us have, and it's hard to figure it out because it feels like the people we listen to are gatekeeping a lot of information. So it's hard. And you know, at the end of the day, this is all internet stuff. So it's hard for somebody to reveal their hand on the internet because that means that your ops and your enemies would also be able to see your hand on the internet. So it's hard for Candace to be like, I'll only be truthful to my audience, as in like the whole world is not going to see the episode. So I get it 100%. I'm not oblivious to that at all, but just very, very interesting. I don't know. That's that. It's just something that's just been a little off lately. And the Aspen video has truly bothered me because I'm like, we just moved on. Just like everything else, we just moved on. And now we're just on to something else. And I'm like, can I get closure on one thing? Just one thing. I just want closure on it. We get down to the bottom of it and we move on. We put that one to bed. Not added to the other pile of cliffhangers. And it's nothing wrong with us questioning that, being like, why we have so many cliffhangers? Why? Can we at least acknowledge some of these cliffhangers? Why do I feel like the cliffhangers happen and then we just move on for months down the road and we're just like, what happened to this thing that happened 4 months ago? And then somebody always comes in the comments and is like, don't worry, bro, she's playing chess. Listen, I feel you, but that was 4 months ago. Okay, nothing has happened since then. The chess game's over. All right, chess don't last that long. I think that we should start asking questions to figure out, hey, what happened to this? Can you address this? And that's fine. That's fine to do. I just don't want nobody to be afraid or scared to ask questions and say, yo, what happened here? It's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that you're doubting anybody. It's just saying, hey, I hold you to the same standard that I hold these people to. That's it. I hold myself to it. I hold you to it. I hold TPUSA to it. I'm holding everybody to being 100% transparent and honest. Nobody's exempt from that, and that's okay. I had to get that out. I know that was probably a quite long rant, but I I definitely had to get that out because I've been talking about it on TikTok. I don't think we really got into that on here, but but I had to get that out. Now I want to play the Leah Files. Let me see some of y'all comments before I play the Leah Files. Gatekeepers only allow certain people access to privileged information. That's deep, yeah, 100%. And that's where it's so tough, but like that's where we are now. If we want to just be completely honest, that's what we are. Like Barron's in there now. You know what I mean? And I think at first he wasn't a gatekeeper. And now he is. And that's okay. That is okay. We just have to acknowledge that that's what it is, though. Like you cannot have your cake and eat it too. You know what I mean? I just want people to realize that. So I'm not going at nobody, attacking nobody. But if you are a gatekeeper, then you have to be okay with people saying, hey, you aren't honest about this. You aren't being honest. You're telling the half truth. And that's the truth. But then you also have to be okay with people saying, I don't know if I can trust you, you know what I mean, to the full extent because I know you're a gatekeeper. I know, you know what I mean? So like, it's tough. You weren't saying that to a Baron question. Yeah, and I wasn't directly saying that off of I was tangenting, but yeah, I get you though. I'm not sure if they are trying to spread the info out over multiple shows or if they are holding on to some of it because they are waiting for TPUSA to make a mistake. That's another thing too. I mean, how many more mistakes and lies do we need from TPUSA? I'm not saying that all of the ones that we have uncovered, all of those were important, super important. But I'm saying moving forward, right? I'm all about like progress. I really don't like staying stagnant for too long. I'm all about progress. So when I hear some people say, oh, Candace is trying to catch him in another lie or catch him in, and I'm literally just like, but here's the thing though, you've already lied to me. I'm talking about TPUSA. You've already lied to me like 5-6 times. I don't need a 7th. I believe you're a liar. I really don't need any more proof that you're a terrible person. I don't. So let's not do no more setting up to see if they fall for the bait in the trap. And when it comes to small things, right? Big things, totally different. But when it comes to like small things, I'm like, I don't need any more proof that they're terrible people. That's just me. I'm tired of hearing that they got all this info and playing chess when Tyler may get the death penalty for something he didn't do. That should also be important and should not be put off. Thank you. I 100% agree with you. That is exactly where I'm at. I think about that all the time. And, I'm extremely blessed for sure. I do think sometimes I'm like, man, y'all know me. I for sure am somebody that will put information out. Now, obviously, you with things like this, you definitely need to be careful. You're playing with fire. These people are extremely dangerous. So that's the tough part about the whole thing. But yeah, if there's information that would get the media to finally pay attention to it, and I have it, and I'm somebody that's pushing for truth. It's a difference between like, oh, I'm just doing it just because. But if I'm somebody that's like, no, I'm doing this because I'm pushing for truth. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put it out there because the more I delay it, the quicker his death is on the way. So I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Let me play Leah's Follow the Money on X with this exploding mic theory. And then I will get to y'all comments, the rest of it. I've seen this before, but just in case nobody else has seen it, Leah breaks down following the money when it comes to this exploding mic theory. And she does a phenomenal job doing it every time. She's done it before. So we'll see how this one is. I've heard this is a new one. I think she literally did a recap of it today with this new video. But she has done this before.
Within the FBI and Department of War helped assassinate. I think that certain nefarious characters within the FBI and Department of War helped assassinate Charlie Kirk and cover it up. And I want to show you why I think this, with receipts. I also spent my career in intelligence and know damn well what we're capable of doing. Now, what happened here was obvious Fed slop, which is what I'm going to walk you through as well. But anyway, let's look at the correlated events around this, and then you guys tell me what you think. All right, Stu Peters was one of the first people to vocalize this exploding microphone theory. And ever since he was...
Oh, Stu Peters. Gotta talk about that. Forgive me. Be right back, Leah. Be right back. Stu Peters. I just want to bring it up because I just found it a little strange. That's all. And I've talked about this before on TikTok. So Stu Peters, Barron revealed that Blake Neff used to work for Stu Peters. Barron was doing this deep dive on trying to figure out. Thanks to the great video on the breaking down the Stu Peters stuff. I'll go watch it. I haven't watched it yet. The only thing I'm talking about right now is something that I experienced with Stu Peters talking about it and stuff like that. I haven't went into it yet with everybody else. But Barron did a breakdown that Blake Neff worked for Stu Peters for X amount of years when Blake Neff left Fox and before Blake Neff worked with Turning Point, or he could have been doing both of them at the same time. And once Barron revealed that, Stu Peters then comes out and says, oh yeah, Blake Neff, did work for me for X amount of time. And, now that I'm looking back at our text messages, he was pushing weird stuff and saying weird stuff to me too in the text messages. And he was pushing me to be anti, Israel or whatever and saying all this stuff. And so I immediately was like that. I mean, Blake Neff was one of your employees. And I'm not saying the boss has to know their employees. You know what I mean? Not at all. Or all of their employees. But I was like, you've been doing a deep dive on TPUSA for like quite some time now. And you've been like hardcore. So why didn't you ever mention Blake Neff worked for you before? Now that's not that it's like a Blake Neff was never relevant to talk, because I think he's talked about that before. He was like Blake Neff was never relevant to bring him up and all this other stuff. And again, I'm not saying that he had to do that. I just thought that since you were doing a deep dive into Turning Point USA for quite some time, I just thought that Blake Neff would have been in that deep dive for you to acknowledge that Blake Neff. And I just thought it was strange that he didn't say anything until Barron revealed that. And then his response at first was like, didn't really make any sense. I thought it was kind of like a runaround on how he actually knew Blake Neff. He even said we didn't have a personal relationship, but yet they're talking about their text messages together. I'm like, that's pretty personal. So that didn't really make sense to me. And, somebody responded on one of my tweets of talking about, I'm going to just show it. Somebody responded to my tweet when y'all know me, man. I'm a question anybody, everybody, anything, anybody, and everybody. I knew I was missing one. I'm gonna question anything, anybody, and everybody. And just it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. It doesn't hurt to get more clarity on things that you may not understand. So I questioned it, obviously. And I questioned it. I said, this is interesting. Stu had these text messages from Blake all this time. And now that Barron has revealed Blake used to work for Stu, now all of a sudden Blake was pressuring Stu. He didn't have a personal relationship with Blake, but they texted. Am I tripping? Or is this explanation from Stu just now revealing this information after the fact is sketchy? And this person said, actually, I do not think Stu Peters ever gave a thought to the creep Blake Neff. But when he went back and looked, he realized the correlation. And Stu Peters actually responded under my tweet to this person commenting. He put this. And so, I even mentioned, I said in a tweet up here, right here, I responded and said, you've been speaking truth for a while now. Fair enough, Stu. Grace extended. Because, Stu has been somebody in this, Charlie Kirk investigation that has been preaching and pushing for truth, questioning everybody. And he has been doing that with his platform, and that's huge. So I appreciate what he has brought to the table in this investigation, because everybody brings a piece to the table. So I appreciate him for doing that. And I was like, you know what, sure, I'll give you grace. However, it still doesn't make any sense. But whatever though. But I just wanted to bring that up just because I was like, that is what happened, and I forgot to share it. I just thought it was odd just because I was like, you knew who Blake Neff was, and you knew how weird Blake Neff was as well. And you never said a word until Barron brought it up. And if Barron never brought it up, you probably still would never said a word. But it's just weird because you've been looking in the TPUSA for this long, and Blake Neff has been the face of TPUSA for a couple of months now. Every time somebody responds, it's Blake Neff. But he didn't put two and two together. Then I know people love to bring up, these people don't look at social media. They love to say that about Tucker and all that stuff. And I'm just like, okay, bro, I guess we can use that excuse for everybody. But I just thought it was odd because I don't know. I don't know. But I just know that Blake Neff getting fired from Fox for saying those racist things, and then him going to Stu Peters. And it's like, did nobody care about the things that he did at Fox that got him fired? Because Tucker didn't care. And then I know Barron had an episode about it last night of like Blake was with Tucker Carlson at his peak of his career, Stu Peters at his peak, and he was placed in Charlie's life at his peak, at Charlie's peak. So how is Blake Neff being put around these people at their peak? Very odd. And now it seems that he's texting them weird messages, pushing them in different directions, almost as if Blake Neff is a Fed, as if he's an agent. But then you also have to acknowledge the fact that Tucker put Blake Neff on with Charlie Kirk. So it's like, that's why I think it's important to know that Stu Peters knew Blake this whole time. That's the only reason why I was questioning it, because I'm like, okay, so Blake Neff is already a weirdo itself. So I think it's odd that you knew Blake Neff this whole time, but didn't want to admit it. I'm talking about Stu Peters. I think that's odd. So I don't know. I don't have any investigators and all of that stuff. I just bring stuff to the table and I put my thoughts out there about it. And I just watch from the dark. I don't know. I just find it weird that, yes, Blake Neff was with all of those people, Stu Peters, Tucker Carlson, Charlie Kirk. And then you got Tucker putting Blake Neff on with Charlie Kirk. You got Stu Peters pretending like he don't know Blake Neff. Who is Blake Neff, bro? And why is this happening? It's so weird. I don't know, but that didn't come at a great time, because that came at a time yesterday or the day before where I was really feeling like I was all over the place with my emotions. I was like, bro, I don't trust nobody. Everybody looks shady. Why you ain't post this? Why you ain't post that? What's going on? I was just in one of those moods. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but I was just in one of those moods where I was like, bro, nobody is making any sense. Why is everybody gatekeeping? Why is nobody questioning things? And then this thing came out with Stu, and I was like, Stu, you could have said something way better than that on why you didn't mention Blake Neff. But his reasoning on why he didn't want to mention him, I'm like, that don't make any sense. That don't make any sense at all. Then when Barron brought it up, Barron was like, yeah, I believe him. I don't think it's nothing crazy that Stu said that. And I'm like, so I'm the only person that finds it odd that Stu was looking into TPUSA so deep, but somehow Blake Neff, he was like, I don't remember him. Who's Blake Neff? Like, but he has text messages with Blake Neff. So I was all over the place, bro. I started looking at everybody left and right and was like, bro, I don't trust nobody. What's happening right now? Everybody feel like they in on it. So I don't know, man. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. My mind been all over the place. I just don't know why people gotta act shady, you know, because it is shady. It is shady. It is. I don't care how many times you want to break it down and how many times you want to explain it. It's shady. It's shady. The way that he explained on why he forgot who Blake Neff was shady. It didn't make any sense. His explanation made no sense. Even when Candace said, and even though, in my opinion, I feel like she kept saying she forgot because she was really protecting Tucker, because everybody knows Tucker don't want no smoke. He don't like being a villain. So I think that she was protecting Tucker when it comes to, like, when she kept on saying, I forgot I went to Maine, or I forgot I had this conversation. And yes, she said both of those things, because somebody's going to be like, she didn't say she forgot to go to Maine. She said both of those things. Both. She said she forgot to go. She forgot that she went to Maine, and she forgot that her and Tucker had that conversation. And then when she went to over-explaining how she forgot, that's when I was like, you're over-explaining. Why do I not believe you that you just happened to forget? I just be looking at everybody sideways, man. I just be looking at everybody sideways. Again, just looking. That's all. That's all. Leah, I apologize. Let's continue. And I won't interrupt much anymore.
Helped assassinate Charlie Kirk and cover it up. And I want to show you why I think this, with receipts. I also spent my career in intelligence and know damn well what we're capable of doing. Now, what happened here was obvious Fed slop, which is what I'm going to walk you through as well. But anyway, let's look at the correlated events around this, and then you guys tell me what you think. All right, Stu Peters was one of the first people to vocalize this exploding microphone theory. And ever since he was talking about it, I was like, that's really interesting. Let me go dig into my rabbit holes, right? My areas of expertise, and see what I can find. I did a video on this a few months ago, but I have found a lot of information since, and that's what I want to talk about today. First up, we have the Accurate Energetic Systems contract. This is one of the biggest red flags.
Whoa. Danks made a video pretty much calling Stu out. Oh, I like that. Hold on now. Let me find YouTube or X. Let me know. I gotta go see it. Because my gut is telling me something is weird. My gut been saying that. Let me know. X or YouTube. I'll go find it.
So Accurate Energetic Systems makes explosives, and they have a lot of government contracts.
YouTube.
That's not abnormal. What caught my attention was the procurement period. The procurement period was for May 1st through August of 2025. So what is that? Like an 8-month procurement period ending right before Charlie Kirk's assassination. So this contract is signed on April 22nd, and that is 1 month after Steven Feinberg got into office. He also owned Cerberus, that has CIA agents working for him, and all these people in Intel. They also own DynCorp and trained special ops units on how to detonate tiny explosives. The other thing that caught my eye about this contract was that it was an SAP, a simplified acquisition procedure. basically intended to streamline the procurement process in the government, which is very lengthy. And if you want it done really fast and it's this much money, 440,000 some odd change, you have to go through this process. The strange things about it as well, there was one bidder. And in the federal business opportunities slot.
Oh my gosh, I actually got to go look at it. I have to, just because we was just talking about it. I wanted to say Candace also remembered. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, it's a lot of people that just happen to remember lately. I don't know about that. And again, I think Candace was saying it because she was trying to protect Tucker, but that's still a lie. That's still a lie. Leah, I love you. I love you to death. But just because I gotta go see what Dank said, and we did play your video on the last Yappisode. We did. I will play it probably tomorrow, but I gotta see what Dank said just because my mind has been itching. I thought I was by myself on this. Let's see, it's 2 videos, so let's see. Hopefully, one of them.
With Blake Neff, which there is a tranche, as they love to say, a trove of these messages that are actually kind of eerie.
Kind of eerie? What do you mean?
The floodgates of pressure opened up. Contributors, I have evidence from these text messages. Blake Neff ought to tread very lightly with this. And there are a lot of things that have been cleared up for me now. A lot of dots that have been connected for me now after looking back at all of these.
We might sit here and watch Danks' video. Danks, I'm sorry. Don't copyright me. Look, everybody, is Danks. Y'all see his y'all see him. Go give him a sub. That's who this video is from. You get all the credit, Brody. I'll just have to watch it in live time with everybody because this is my first time seeing it, and I have felt like this from day one on Stu Peters. So I'm interested to see somebody else's perspective because there were a lot of people that was like, yeah, that is kind of weird. And there's people in Stu's comments as well that was like, yeah, that's kind of odd. But I'm curious. So let's hear it.
Text messages between myself and Blake Neff.
What?
Whoa. I don't want to get copyrighted for that music though, brother. But I'm assuming it's licensed because that's why he's playing it.
It looks to me that Blake Neff might have an agenda put forward by somebody that we don't know, that's tucked in the back corner somewhere, that is placing him in positions. I mean, what is the irony that how could he possibly be placed in positions of the top shows on their networks in the peak of those shows time and time again, 3 times in a row? Tucker Carlson, then Stu Peters at their peaks, then Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk. It doesn't make sense. And when Stu Peters tells you what he really felt like when he started going through those old text messages, reveals a lot. Blake Neff, I think that there's something secret behind who he is. He looks empty, he acts empty, and I don't trust him. What kind of person is Blake Neff? Who is he? And that's what we're going to try to answer in this video and moving forward, because it is important to know that the Hasbara budget is a lot of money, and nobody said they had to start at this specific date. This could be going on for years. Now, is Blake Neff a foreign agent? I don't know, but he's definitely giving off vibes to more than just a couple of people, to a lot of people, millions of people, that he's shady. Why? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But Blake Neff, something isn't adding up, big dog. And I don't know what it is exactly, but I'm starting to get a good idea.
Anyway, did you see that?
So this is Stu Peters addressing Baron Coleman's call out, saying, hey, Blake used to work for Stu. This is what my sources are saying. Stu Peters goes on to confirm it, but he says something else. Going back through his text messages, how it made him feel, recognizing that Charlie Kirk was going through the same thing, admittedly. And Stu Peters had the chance to wake up, and Charlie Kirk ended up dead. And from his inside camp, from inside Stu Peters' camp, he was getting pushback. You don't want to talk about them. You don't want to go against them. You don't want to start and stir up all of this drama. They're going to come after you, whatever it might be. Stu Peters was being told, not only from the outside, from social media, from independent media, from advertisers, you don't want to mess with them, but inside of his own camp. And he calls out Blake and says, Blake, you might want to be careful where you go from here. Tread lightly, as Stu says, because there might be something that just doesn't meet the eye. So like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's see what Stu has to say.
This on Baron Coleman's podcast last night on YouTube, my name came up. Baron Coleman has been doing a lot of really good work on the murder of Charlie Kirk and holding his killers accountable. And anyway, did you see this on Baron Coleman's podcast last night on YouTube? My name came up. Baron Coleman has been doing a lot of really good work on the murder of Charlie Kirk and holding his killers accountable. And anyway, on last night's show, this is what he said about me.
But what is no longer an open question to me is what was he doing in those intervening years, or at least the intervening months? Because I got a tip. On the show, I kind of asked the question, what was he doing before he went to work at TPUSA? And I finally got a tip.
Now he's here. Baron is talking the first time, or first couple of times he's talked about Blake, is he's saying, I think Blake worked for Stu, and he didn't have confirmation, but Stu here confirms it.
And they said he was working for another content creator. You should look into it. So I did, and I found nothing. I asked around, I could find nothing. So I go back to my source. What content creator are you talking about? Because I keep looking, I've asked around, I can find nobody. And they said he was working for Stu Peters.
Okay, so Baron Coleman, who has been doing, by the way, excellent work surrounding the murder of Charlie Kirk and connecting a lot of dots, talking about a lot of things that probably shouldn't be publicly connected and or talked about.
Why? Why shouldn't they be publicly connected or talked about? This is actually the most important that needs to be talked about. And if he's breaching that thin line of, well, you better be careful, bro. So who's behind that? You better be careful, right? That's important. We're watching people get killed. There's been things that are happening in our society that are unexplainable because people.
Okay, bet. Thank you for checking in on that music earlier. I definitely was a little worried. I wasn't trying to get copyrighted, but thank you for clarifying.
People are behind the scenes controlling the narrative and scaring people out of having conversations. So these should be talked about. Stu, I beg to differ. They need to be talked about. Now, he probably means they don't want us to talk about it, which clearly they don't. But what is Blake Neff's role behind all of this? That's what my question is. What is Blake doing? And is he being propped up in between all of these high-profile creators and broadcasters and commentators to do a specific agenda for somebody else?
And who he was talking about there was Blake Neff. And yes, I can confirm, Blake Neff did work here for me for the Stu Peters Network after his firing or departure, his separation or resignation, however that worked, from Tucker Carlson and Fox News. He was one of Tucker's writers. He was presented as one of Tucker's top writers. In fact, I believe that I recall Blake telling me that in some cases, Tucker would actually just rip and read monologues that were prepared by Blake without even proofreading them. I haven't talked to Tucker about that or independent.
That means that he must have been a damn good writer, and he probably still is. But there's something else there. You know, you gain this trust, and then you can start sliding in information that you don't even realize you're speaking out on because your writer put it in and you trust your writer. And there might be something here, you guys. There really might be. I've got some hair up my butt right now about this. I don't know what to say, but I'm telling you, something is not right about Blake Neff.
Independently confirmed or verified that.
I'm right there with you, Danks. I'm right there with you, my boy. Come on now. I thought I was tripping. I mean, I knew I wasn't tripping, but I was like, I peep. I'm going to give you a little grace. But I took a little mental note.
But that's how he was presented for me, because at that time around here at this network, I was doing a lot of heavy lifting surrounding somebody who knew that Blake Neff had been dismissed or fired or had resigned surrounding allegations of, I don't know, covert racism, which I could have cared less about. I didn't care.
I don't think that he's the type to care about what Blake's past was if he needed somebody good to help him. He gets called a racist and anti-Semite all the time, so surely he probably didn't even care. I've had some people ask me, like, why didn't Stu speak out against Blake? Well, it's kind of weird to come out and speak publicly about your previous employees. Now, Blake is starting to get into the limelight, I guess you could say, and now is the time he's coming out to speak about it, Stu. So this is when you would come out. It would be weird to do it randomly.
And so I was like, yeah, I need the help. And Blake came on, and actually he did really good work. Really solid work. I had no complaints. He was a talented guy. He did what I needed him to do. Anyway, so now fast forward to I'm sitting down with Phil Turney and other surviving members of the Israeli attack on the USS Liberty. At the time, Blake Neff is still working for me. In fact, he's now also working for Charlie Kirk at Turning Point USA. And I didn't remember specifically if it was Turning Point or some other organization until Baron Coleman brought this up on his YouTube show last night. And then I looked back at text messages that I had with Blake Neff, which there is a tranche, as they love to say, a trove of these messages that are actually kind of eerie.
Kind of eerie? What do you mean? You can't be referring possibly to what Charlie might have gone through. Did you go through the same things too? And was Blake involved?
I've been through this before. I think it's worth going through again now. At the time that I published those videos, the floodgates of pressure opened up. And that came both from external sources and internal ones. So externally, of course, it was the corporate media and the press and their hit pieces and sponsors and advertisers on the network cautioning me, questioning me, probing me, and ultimately pressuring me. And also there were internal sources, people who worked for me, employees, people who worked with me, contractors, contributors.
So you knew all this information. You knew you was being pressured. What's going on, Meg? You knew you was being pressured. You knew that Charlie went through the same thing, but he ended up dying. And you never thought that, I went through the same thing. This is very strange. Especially after Charlie died. You didn't think to like, I smell bull. I smell some bull spit. I'm not buying it. I don't know. I gave him grace, but I didn't listen to his whole explanation video. This one. I listened to like no. I think I listened to a couple of seconds of this and hearing the text message and stuff like that, but I'm not buying it.
Leaders who were saying, you don't want to do this. You don't want to talk about this. And it was then and there that began this documented on video, real life, real time awakening that we've all been through together when I was J-pilled, red-pilled, all of the discussions that we've had since I sat down with those Liberty survivors.
So he's being pressured.
I like that. Shady. I don't believe Stu didn't remember. I don't either. I smell some Ben Shapiro initials. Hey, that's pretty funny. I might start saying that. That's pretty funny.
From the inside, he already said that Blake Neff was a contributor. Contributors are pressuring him. Outside people are pressuring him. You don't want to talk about that place, that country, those people. You don't want to speak out against them. So why would Blake Neff be doing that? Why was he placing that pressure within his own team and telling Stu, was he just being a good boy and good helper? And you might want to watch your back. This is not a good idea. Or like Stu said, is it eerie for a reason? Because Charlie was waking up. Stu had a...
And I agree. I don't want to, my goal is not to put Stu in the hot seat and like focus on all of that, like, you know what I mean? But we just pointed out, these are the things that should just be like open and close, right? We open this book of who are you, Stu Peters? And why didn't you mention anything about Blake? And then maybe 2-3 days go by and we give him grace, keep it moving, or we find more shady things, talk about it. But that's not the goal, because Stu has brought a lot to this investigation, and I don't think anybody is discrediting him. However, it still is shady. You're not just exempt from shadiness just because you're covering the Charlie Kirk investigation. Again, I'll give you grace. That still don't make this weird. So this is very odd and very weird that you knew Blake this whole time.
Chance to wake up. Charlie was waking up. Charlie didn't make it. He's still asleep.
Now, we have had evidence that Charlie Kirk was facing pressure externally, of course, which is evidenced by the Bill Ackman mansion pressure session and the $150 million phone call from the sitting prime minister trying to get Charlie Kirk to come back onto the plantation and firmly into this grip, because we know that, like me, Charlie Kirk later in the months and weeks and days leading up to his public was also having a documented on video, real life, real time awakening. He was discussing the multifaceted occupation of our country, from academia in our institutions of learning to banking and finance to our government, all of its bureaucracies, entertainment, Hollywood, the music industry, etc. And then he was silenced permanently. So we've had evidence that Charlie Kirk was getting pressure, at least externally. But now I have evidence from these text messages, and Blake Neff ought to tread very lightly with this. And there are a lot of things that have been cleared up for me now, a lot of dots that have been connected for me now, after looking back at all of these text messages between myself and Blake Neff.
What do you...
So release him. Yeah. You know what I mean? No. Don't talk too much. Release him. Share him. Maybe he's about to. I don't know. Share him. Share the text messages. What was he saying? Were they similar to the text message with Charlie? Like, were they similar under the same, similar type of context of, like, our greatest ally? And what was he saying? Just share them, Stu. It shouldn't be that big of a deal, right? I don't think anybody should come around and say there are legal, troubles of sharing text messages, and I don't want to get in trouble for this or that, or just share them. Just share them. I think that would solve everything.
talking about? Blake Neff, what were you doing, bro? What were you involved in? What were you making people feel? What were you making people feel uncomfortable about? What were you making people feel uncomfortable about, Blake? What kind of text messages are going on up in there, Blake? What kind of pressure were you applying to people, Blake? Why would Stu start to feel eerie about your messages, Blake? This is very concerning. Remember, they are at their limit and they will do anything. It's a little nerve-wracking, to be honest with you. It's a little scary. We don't know who's who anymore.
Particularly relating to these issues involving the influence in American politics or the influence of spiritually in this country through the introduction of the Schofield Reference Bible and the occupation of our church. And Charlie was talking about these things as well. In fact, he was concerned about that. And we know that because we've seen the text messages that he authored, showing concern that these people may bring ill upon him or even.
So everyone knew he was being pressured and nobody saved his life. That's messed up. I mean, right. Like, I don't know. I listened to only like half of this video. He's not helping this case at all. If you were so pressured, and it's not even like he's realizing right now in this moment that he was pressured. Like he's acknowledging, like, yeah, I went through the same thing. Huh? So how you just happen to forget? What?
And he said, as evidenced by the now infamous Harrison Smith tweet, that he was concerned. And if he were to end up, that would be to blame. So anyway, and now you look at everything that has happened immediately in the wake of Charlie Kirk's.
I want to go back for a second. How can we not take this seriously? He literally, I mean, how would Harrison Smith have known to put this out unless this is 100% true? Why would he even say this? And Charlie didn't deny it at the time. This was when Charlie was alive back in August. So how could this be? How did Harrison Smith know this? So what we need to ask ourselves is, who is Blake Neff? And is he working for someone that is trying to put him in positions to be in very influential locations or with people that are hosting a lot of influence at that time? Again, Tucker, Stu, Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, all at their peak, applying eerie pressure. This needs to go answered. It needs to become a topic that needs to be discussed. Who referred Blake Neff to Tucker? Who referred Blake Neff to Stu, to Charlie Kirk? How did he get these positions?
We know who referred Blake Neff over to Charlie Kirk. So do we have another question for Tucker Carlson? Tucker Carlson already has a big question on his plate. Do we need to add more to? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm okay with that as long as everybody else on board. Maybe I don't even need everybody else. If it's just a few of us, that's fine. I'm gonna do it. But we know Tucker Carlson referred Blake Neff over to Charlie Kirk. Now it's, did Tucker Carlson refer Blake Neff over to Stu? If Tucker Carlson, right, just follow me. Just follow me. If Tucker Carlson if he worked for Tucker Carlson, now I don't know where he came from before he worked for Tucker Carlson, but afterwards, if Tucker Carlson referred him over to Stu, and then Tucker Carlson referred him over to Charlie, then what would that mean about Tucker Carlson? I don't know, my boy. I don't know. Tucker, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Daddy is CIA. Son is heavy into politics. I don't know. I just think that it's a valid question. Did you refer Blake Neff over to Stu Peters? Matter of fact, hopefully my mic didn't cut off. I accidentally bumped it. Matter of fact, what shall we say, everybody? I think we should. He does need to answer some questions. I think we should say something. I think we should say something to Tucker Carlson. Let's see. I'm in the middle of yapping and thinking right now, so this is hard to do at this very moment. Oh nope, I feel nervous. Y'all are watching what I'm typing. Now I'm gonna fold. Now I'm gonna fold. I can't type under pressure. I can't type under pressure. But I will type. I will put something out there tonight. I'm gonna ask Tucker Carlson some questions. I'm gonna put it out there for the whole world to see. Cause yeah, I'm a professional yapper. I ain't no professional typer now. I can't type under pressure. I get nervous. I'm gonna start misspelling stuff and y'all gonna laugh at me. Or I'm gonna say something that don't make sense. I don't type well under pressure. I feel like y'all ever shared y'all screen at like work and you just start clicking on random stuff, you get nervous. That's how I feel. I don't like doing stuff like that. But I think that's very, very interesting. And I think that is a very valid question on the Tucker Carlson refer Blake Neff over to Stu Peters, since he did refer Blake Neff over to Charlie Kirk. So I shall do that. Don't worry about it. Leave it up to me. I'll put it out there. If it's just me and Danks questioning stuff, that's fine. But even if it's just me, that's fine. I don't mind it. But I think we definitely we got some things to talk about for sure. But I'll do it tonight. Without further ado, let's get to the Yap community, to some of y'all's comments and questions. If y'all have any, don't forget to hit the like button before we get out of here, before I get to these comments. Let me see how many we at right now. We always got to hit a little goal. Let me see. Let me see. We at 48. Okay, cool. Look, I just made it 49. Let's get to like 50. Let's get to 60. 55. There's 63 people in here. Can we get to 55? I'll meet you halfway. 55. 46 on TikTok. 55. I feel like 55 is fair. That's fair. That's 6. I can't get 6. Come on. Lisa totally has a crush. I'm telling you, it's something about. Oh my gosh, nah, I'm not gonna play that video. I'm not gonna play. Just go do it if you. I don't know if you want to feel like suffering. She made a video about like she's seething and she had like a crash out. And for some reason, I'm like the person that she tags and uses my tweet, and I'm like, bro, I didn't even say anything, bro. Why are you tagging me and making me responsible for your crash out? I say a lot of things, but in that particular moment, I didn't say anything. Congrats, Jay, on reaching a tremendous milestone of 22K subs. You should be extremely proud of yourself. That's all you, Jay. Buffy, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of y'all for making it possible. This has been very, very fun. And it's been fun because the channel has grown. The channel has grown in so many different ways. I think we had, again, people probably already heard this story, but to sum it up, we had like 18,000 subs already because I used to do day in a life Amazon videos back during COVID. And man, those were going crazy. And so we already had like 18,000 subs and then had some life changes, career changes. So I just deleted the app, deleted all of my videos and just like went through life. And then we fired the YouTube channel back up in January. That was January's New Year's resolution, was to commit to YouTube officially, with the help of TikTok being sold to America, and it was so different. So that definitely helped push me in the right direction to go to YouTube. And in January, we dropped our first video in January and been consistent ever since. So, technically it's been like 4,000, what is that? 4,000 subs since January, which is amazing. And we didn't even do our first live until March. Our first live was in March. Our first Yappisode was in March. So March, April, May, June. So 4 months pretty much is what it feels like. So I appreciate y'all. It has been truly a blessing in the journey, and we are not stopping at all. We in it now. We in it. Brandon Tatum suffering from a bit of projection, calling people stupid and evil. I'm telling you, man, it is for sure projection. Absolutely. She worked for the Cochran Group. Yeah, she did. And the Cochran Group was in the files. So what are the odds, right? Just a coincidence. I happen to work for the Cochran Group that's in the files, and then the person who owned the Cochran Group was in the files. And yeah, but I'm just an innocent old Christian woman, though. Not buying it. Nihilist reported that Erica's having meltdowns in her office, going crazy, thinking about her employees, or crazy thinking her employees are tracking her energy. She's planning on getting all the dirt by running the island. Man. I wish more employees would come out and say something, but it makes sense because all of their employees are under NDAs. Weird. It is sad that if it was me or you, we would be doing time real quick for any number of reasons. But if you got money, you can get away with just anything. Yep. That is life, huh? We got to sit here and work hard, pay taxes, while these people don't work hard and don't pay taxes. And they just get to do whatever they want. Because I don't believe Turning Point USA is real work at all, and these people get paid millions. Did you all hear that recording? I guess it had been out for a while, but Ali Top Files put it up yesterday or the day before. I think I started listening to it. I don't think I finished it, but I know what you're talking about, though. Hold tight, though, because Barron is about to reveal more footage he said is coming. That's great. I'm glad. I'm holding on. They're gonna release never before seen footage of Charlie, but they deleted half his past videos. Right, exactly. Make it make sense. I hate that Tugger's not speaking, like stand up for Charlie and Candace. Right. I think he's pushing for a president position. So he's trying to get in that office. He's trying to have everybody on his side. But then that would make you not trustworthy, though. You just play both sides. Who says she moved on from the Aspen video? I'm saying that she's not gonna say that. She's never said that. She just goes on to the next story, and the next story is very interesting. But you end up realizing that it's been like 3 months, and you moved on without even realizing it. And that's just what I'm guessing, is that we've moved on from the Aspen video. If it comes out, I'll be wrong, and I'll say I'm sorry. I was wrong. But as of right now, it doesn't seem like I am. It seems like we have moved on. If she released a clip of the Women's Leadership Summit, it would make no sense that she can't release the other part. Come on. I agree. Candace showed him something serious. She earned his complete trust. I believe this. I believe Candace has shown Baron something. And, it sucks because, we talked about this before. Like, that would mean you're a gatekeeper. You tell half the truth. You're not fully transparent. And it is what it is. You just got to own it. But you also have to own that you can't really 100% be trusted because of that. But again, I get it. I get how the game is. Unfortunately, I have to call it the game, but I get how it goes. Because you can't reveal your whole hand, or else the other folks gonna know what you got. And then on top of that, if this is really a dangerous position for Candace and Baron, then you don't want to risk your life or your family. So I get it. It is what it is. She can't release it because she signed an NDA. Yeah. I don't think I have it. I might have it saved. There's a video of a guy explaining Candace's NDA. And it's very informative, but I cannot find it. Here it is right here. So everybody go watch this right here. This video right here. Nicholas J. Brooks. He explains Candace's NDA and the different things going on, lawsuits going on. And he does talk about Candace being under an NDA, and like when it expires, whenever it's terminated, it still goes for another 12 months. And he talks about it a little bit. It's great information, but it makes you wonder if that is true. then there are a lot of things that Candace will never hit on. And that is things that you have to take into consideration, that she's not going to tell you the full truth about it because she doesn't want to get sued or whatever the situation is, or whatever the situation may be. Bro, what if they are all the feds? I don't know, man. It's the biggest psyop ever in my lifetime. I don't know. Just be honest. Tucker needs to start talking today. Facts. 100%. Tag y'all. I'll try my best to go back in this chat and tag everybody. Oh, this is another one right here. If you're going to task Tucker, or if you're going to ask Tucker, I'm tripping. Please also ask if he knew that Don Huffness was the owner of Zorro Ranch, and did Charlie also know, as Don was at the Aspen event. I have to look into that, and then I will. Trust me. Let me look into it first. Oh, my fault. My bad. Sorry, TikTok family. I don't want to get banned. Thank you for telling me, Latanya. Thank you for telling me. I did not see that. Angela, thank you for supporting the channel and donating. Thank you so much. Oh, and that's what you were saying. They reported your TikTok live in the stream because it was reported. Yeah. Hopefully I get banned once a week. Hopefully I ended it in time. I'll probably get a notification very soon. TikTok is tripping. That's why a lot of people have been asking about TikTok. Yes, I have dialed back a lot on my TikTok content just because of the change, bro. It's so annoying. It's annoying. It's like heavily censored. I just don't know, man. I don't like posting on it that much anymore. Like my main account, I barely post on my main account now. Main account is like 250,000 followers. I don't even like posting on it no more because I'll post a video and it'll get like, 500 views in a day and a half. And I'm like, that's not even 1% of the people that should actually see the video. Just 1% of your followers should see your videos. That should be a standard. But they can't do that because then they would have to pay you. They don't want to pay you. So they just don't push it. They purposefully don't push it. And so I'm like, bro, I can't stand when I do it for the love of the game. I love the yap and stuff. But when a platform intentionally suppresses your videos, I'm like, I don't even want to talk anymore. I'm not, and that's their goal. Their goal is to silence you. But it's annoying. Yeah. So I've you know, I only talk on my backup account, Hoodie J, all the time, just because they don't censor me on there. So I literally make the same video and post it on my backup account, and it'll just do regular stuff. But that's why, yeah, TikTok is just so weird, bro. I'm barely on it now. I try my best just to keep on putting stuff out there on it, but YouTube has been very good to me as far as just saying whatever I can say, saying whatever I want to say, and not trying to censor any of that. So I'm gonna keep on investing my time where, you know, where they're allowing me to be myself. So YouTube is where it's at the moment. But I went through them all, man. I appreciate the app community. I appreciate y'all for listening. I definitely missed y'all. It's only been 2 days, but the days that I don't go live, I just be like, bro, I got an urge. But y'all know I was getting some cardio in last night. Outside of that, make sure y'all hit the like button again before you get out of here. Let me see if we hit our goal, which was 55, I think. Let me see. Oh, 54. That's so tough. But I appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit the sub button again if you're new. We are on the road to 23K now for the first time saying that. And I definitely appreciate all the support along the way. Make sure you guys turn on the notifications as well. That way you can be notified the next time that we go live. It should be tomorrow. It depends. I get crazy busy sometimes. Don't forget that a new baby boy will be here very soon in the next like 4 weeks. So that's gonna be an entire thing as well, transition, where we gotta, you know, get used to the routine and all of that stuff. So just make sure you turn those notifications on so that way you never miss another episode. Outside of that, I hope y'all have a great night, and I will see y'all on the next one.